And hello, my name is Aussie Stone, a country Victorian gamer of Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, Dystopian, Flames of War, Battletech, and a whole heap of other games. Today, while it's raining down outside and I can't do anything, I've decided to come into my painting table and do a little bit more painting on my DP-20s. Now, previously in my last video, I would have shown you that I've painted the engine nozzles and some of this green area. I have since gone back and I've actually gone and painted it a bit more. As you can see, I've now painted some of the siding bits a bit more complete in actual making sure that all the panels are done. You can also see that I've done around the escape pods, and also I've done a little bit of a bridge. I'll just sharpen up. Now, all of this has been inspired by a YouTube clip of a Star Wars fan art that I'm going to link in my description by a YouTuber by the name of SkyForge. He created a lovely little masterpiece of animation of a ship similar to this, and also another Corellian Corvette type vessel. And he, in actual fact, did a battle against a pair of Gazantes and then later escaped. I'm going to put a photo up of what the green version of this look like now. This is the green DP-20 and also the red Corellian Corvette variant. So today I still have a bit more painting to do. I need to do some colour on the engine, as well as put some definition on some of this bland colour area, or sand colour. I'll primarily do most of that in a grey or a null wash, simply because that will get into a lot of the crevices and will show up. And then I still need to go over the engine nozzles in a couple of spots underneath with that warp lock bronze to give the definition. So, first one that I'm going to start off with, I'm going to use Flash Get Yellow for the engine flares. Now, the thing to remember when painting such small models is you need some sort of magnifying glass so that you can actually see. Like, I must admit, I'm getting fairly old, and like, even I have a hard time of just doing painting freehand, so I need the assistance. Then we just go around like this. It doesn't matter if it's too light or too dark, because like we'll continue to like add layers to the point where it actually makes it a good balance. And there we go, 3 engines. Now they all look a little bit yellow at this moment in time, and that's good. I may add a further colour in the centre, like a actual white, to indicate that it's more significantly brighter or hotter. If I wanted it to be a cooler, I would go like an orange on the outside and a yellow on the inside. And that looks pretty good for now. So I have messed up a little bit in areas. So I've made up a little bit of some tan colour that will blend in. I'm just going to go over those of the turrets, etc., before I do the wash. Remembering, whatever you do on one side of a vessel like this that has a symmetry, like you can draw a line straight down through the middle of it, and whatever happens on the left hand should occur on the right hand. So now that we've actually painted and corrected as much of the features as possible, now I need to go about creating the shadow effects. For this, I'm going to use some null oil in those tan areas, and on the green areas I'm going to use this Bell Tan green wash. So what I want to do is just lightly, with a nice smallish brush, always remembering to water it down somewhat, just so that it spreads a little bit easier. Just want to very, very lightly. You just want to gently start in an area that's going to be, I guess, not as, hard to overpaint or to clean up if necessary. So I just want to go and do the lines. And I don't know if you can see, but you can see that the lines are coming out now. than this area right here because of that wash that I've just applied. I want to make it very light. So that it doesn't overshadow the color, but moves the shade ever so much to those crevices. And we want to do that to everywhere where there is that black, where there is that plain color. We continue that process. Once we're happy with it, down the neck, all the way through to the edges of the model. Now, if at any point it does get a little bit light, we can just dab a little bit of actual null ink, and it will actually follow all the water that you've already done into those crevices, like so. For the guns, I'm just going to do a little bit of the null wash directly straight onto it. Like such. The other thing to note when applying inks is that on occasion you will want to only do one side. Primarily with any type of model, seeing it's going on wet, it will want to flow with gravity. And in some ways you don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to paint one side of this today to give you guys an idea of the level of shading that I'm doing. I'm going to bring it in. You can see the top part I've already shaded. Working my way down, I've done this top gun barrel and I've just done this barrel as well. And you can see that this back section is still quite a bit to go yet. Now, the other thing about this vessel is it's got these 4 slits at the top and 2 underneath, like big windows right here, which I believe would be the location of where the missile launchers are, or torpedo launchers. So I'm going to deliberately give him a good dark coat. and just work on one of the engines. And there you have it. That side pretty much completely varnished, completely with washes, ready for the next stage. Off camera, I'm going to do the other side, once it's dried. So let's move that aside. Let's move that over to here, out of the way. Now, the other DP-20 that I have, this guy right here, I asked people that I know, friends, etc., on what should I paint this as. And I didn't hear back from many of them. So I decided to look at a number of TV shows, sci-fi shows, and I came across a sci-fi show called Battleship Yamato. And one of the first ships that we see was a destroyer of the Earth Defense Force. And it had a very much a tan yellow and red. I also believe that one of the Gamorrean, I think that was the alien race from the first series, also had a ship that was pretty much entirely red with yellow cutouts for where the weapon is. So I decided to go with the yellow for all the gun ports, similar to what I've done with the green one. But the rest of it, I'm going to do a red. Now that's well and good. The problem being is that to do any type of red and then to do an overcolor of yellow, it's very, very difficult. The red is just such a strong color. So instead what I've done, and what I'm going to continue to do today, is I'm going to use the same yellow that I've used for the weapon, the engine flash, flashy git yellow, as an undercoat, so that all the sections of the vessel is treated to this yellow coating first, and thereby when it comes time to painting the actual vessel itself, I can ignore those sections already in yellow and just concentrate on the areas that need to be in red. So you can see I've already painted half of it. I am going to go over some of it a bit more because the yellow does dull quite a bit. And I want to keep that a nice bright color yellow in certain areas. And it will really stand out once I put some black on in areas of where the muzzles of the guns are. as well as some distinctive colours. I want to get at least some of this yellow on the back here. Now I could have left a section with this bone colour out the front. In some ways that colour is the start of the Earth Defence Forces destroyer. But from what I've seen of the Star Wars galaxy, most of the vessels are usually only two tones. There are some that are that have multicolours, but I want, in some ways I want to have this destroyer exactly like my green one, but less so having the likes of that bone as a base color. I want to have this as something completely different, a actual harsher color, namely the red when I get around to it. Now you'll notice that I'm using a stick to prop it up. Of all things, this is a paddle pole stick, a lollipop stick, a chub stick, I think it is. Chubba chub, that's it. It works perfectly well to just sort of balance against. Seeing I won't be painting the engines for a little while. Seeing they've already received a coat of paint. But it just gives me the opportunity to less handle it like I would my other ships. Obviously larger vessels, it's easy just to put them on a stand and do. Smaller vessels like these, you do want to get hands on or as close to the model as possible, which sometimes the base doesn't allow you to do. And I'm going to leave that to dry like that. Now, you may be wondering, is this the end of my video? No. As you can hear in the background, it's still raining outside, so rather than not do anything while these are drying, I'm going to get another project started, which is pretty easy. A space station. So the space station, as you can see, has already been painted in that uniform grey. It's going to remain that grey colour as its final coat as well. But I want to put a few different colours on it just to, I guess, make it appear lived in. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a light blue colouring through these channels here where the living sections are. I'm going to get a bolt metal gun colour, this colour, to do things like the receiving dish and the weapons. I also may do some sort of bronze or metal color on the actual landing pads here as well. First off, let's get some blue. And see what it's like, just putting a little bit of blue on. Yeah. It's a nice colour, but I do think it's a little bit too, what's the word for it? It needs to be lightened up a bit more. So I think what I might do is I might get some of this blue, mix it with a bit of white to see if I can generate a bit of a lighter colour. One that might shine a bit more. So just mix a bit of white and a bit of blue together. Of course, if I want to make it a bit brighter, I can always add a little bit of yellow, which I'm going to do. But not a huge amount, because obviously I don't want it to change the color of the blue to a green. I just want it, I want the blue to just brighten. And let's try that color. So you can see that that second color that I've just put on is a lot brighter. It's a lot lighter than the first blue. And I think it makes a good, nice, warm glow. I think if I was to use this color here for the lived-in areas rather than this blue, it will significantly be better. Now for Armada, I'm going to use this model primarily as a display piece. It won't have too much in the way of action unless I'm using it as a arm station. And even then, obviously if ships get too close, it will be removed. but it's something that I wanted to do. I've seen many players have on YouTube and that have done actual models of the space station, the debris field, asteroids, etc. I'm not thinking that I will do any of that yet unless I can purchase them in resin and then paint them up. I'm not that great at destroying actual proper models. There we go. Nice light. And what I may do, once it's nice and dry, I might just put like a little bit of dots there in places. To give the impression that maybe people are looking out. Okay. Now onto the gunmetal. Now, the grey coloration of the model undercoat is going to overpower everything anyway. So what we want to do is just complement the colours. Just show a little bit of, oh, this is different, this is different, this is not quite the same as everything else. There we go. As those ones done. I'm also going to do a little bit of this colour on the top here, where all the exposed pipes are. That way when I go and do some shading on here, I will use a null wash in here to sort of show off that the structure is not simply one-dimensional, it's got pipes, etc. Giving it another layer, as it were. And in many ways, layering is all we do with painting. Whether we're painting a existing model, a brand new model, something we've created, we want to build up from a start of a base coat color to the point where we're doing fine detail and then varnishing. So these are the guns, I believe, or some sort of laser projectors to defend. I'm not going to bother with this one at the moment. I still have to do some cleaning up from a bad spray paint job. You can see around here you've got all the exposed area of piping. There we go. And there we have it. Some colour on the space station as well. So, I'm going to leave that for today to dry. When I do my next video, you'll see me doing some more painting on the DP-20 green, the DP-20 which is currently yellow but will turn into a red version soon, and also onto the space station. In between this video and the next, I'll do some cleaning up of all three in preparation. But for now, from Aussie Stan, wishing you all happy gaming, and I will see you on the table. Bye for now.